All right, and we are back. In light of this occasion, 420, we will be reviewing a movie called Reefer Madness.
Spectacular.
A spectacular movie. It was quite
Um,
the event.
And you were talking about 420 as a day. It's not just a day, Jacob. Isn't it really a holiday?
Yeah, it's a national holiday.
So, Reefer Madness, just for you all who don't know, like me, it's a 1936 film that is actually about the dangers of smoking weed.
you mean
I thought it was,
marijuana?
or yeah, marijuana, which is spelled with an H, according to them.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's go into this movie. So basically, the movie starts off with a lot of fear mongering about what marijuana is and how it can cause violent outbursts and all this other stuff. It starts off with a board meeting, guys,
Very exciting stuff. Yeah, we don't care about that. We want to see the people do the weed.
and the dangers of it. So they go into it. There's a house party, and there's a guy in the back smoking weed. And the way he's smoking it with two hands like cupped, it's like, who smokes like that?
Well, you can clearly tell throughout the whole movie that whoever made this, which it looks like, according to Wikipedia, was financed by a church group, and you can tell none of them had smoked marijuana a day in their lives.
Yeah, 100%. And it's just the fear mongering of this time of how bad it was. It's like, oh, this is bad, but yet we're fine with cigarettes, even though those are like so much worse for you. But okay.
Those are good for you, Phil. A cigarette a day keeps the doctor away.
Yeah. And then, guys, like the acting, like when the little brother was teasing the older brother, and the older brother's like, "Mom, make him stop." It's like,
It's like, dude, you're like
this is
20
what we're
years old.
doing.
You're like 20 years old.
Yeah,
Just like 5.
you're 20 years old, twice his size. Like, come on. Are we serious? Are we serious right now? But, with a good old boy type of theme.
He was such a good old boy that he was offered a
Mhm.
soda. He's like, I don't do that stuff.
But root beer he will drink.
Yeah, I don't do that stuff.
So let's get into more of the crux. So he goes to this party. People are acting weird, like they're laughing constantly, which is one of the more like people usually laugh more. But some of the other stuff, it was like, what? Who does this when they're high? These are not side effects of being high. Guy comes in to save a girl, gun goes off, and the girl gets shot.
Well, you missed the hit and run. We had 2. I mean,
Oh,
this
sorry,
is
forgot the hit
death
and
all
run.
over town thanks to this reefer, as
Had
they
to
call it.
escalate.
Yes.
Mhm.
So yes, but
Yeah,
we didn't want to forget the first deceased. I mean, bodies are
Mhm.
dropping everywhere.
Yeah, that was going over this town and really making it
Absolutely
an
tragic.
unlivable town.
So you mentioned the gun went off after a fight. It kills the girl. I mean, the plot is very basic, and of course, there's a trial and everything. The boy's found guilty, and one of the witnesses to the murder or the shooting of the girl, he can't really handle it, and he does some more of the reefer, and he gets so crazed that he beats a man to death, and so then he goes to jail. Or sorry, he goes to a mental institution for the rest of his life. And then at the end, they tell us by pointing at us, saying, "This could even happen to you."
I think it's just interesting of like the views back then of what like marijuana was compared to like the views now. And also, guess what? This film actually was rediscovered in the early 70s and gained a new life. It's an unintentional satire, which you can guess in the 70s, yeah, people probably thought this was funny because what was going on in the 60s and 70s.
Well, I would imagine that most people probably didn't see this in the 30s, or the intended audience didn't see it. I would bet more people have seen this movie to make fun of it than to actually take it seriously.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yes. I mean, this was seen as to many people as a kind of a joke.
I can neither confirm nor deny whether I've done this before, but from what I've heard, none of this stuff that happens in the movie is true, besides maybe the laughter, that part, and the sleepiness. Those two things. That was accurate.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know too many stories I've heard of people getting more violent over
No, and the crazy laughter was not accurate either. I mean, these people were tweaking out in this movie. It certainly seemed like they were more on heroin or cocaine or something like that than weed.
Which the movie did hit the heroin epidemic, which that was like at the beginning did hit about heroin.
Yeah, the cut we saw was an hour and like 5 minutes. I wonder how long the original cut was. Maybe there was more murder. They had to cut it out. How much more madness could there be?
And by the way, there's also a musical of this. I'm gonna be honest with you. When you guys first said we were gonna do this film, I thought it was gonna be a film about like I thought it came out in the 70s or 80s. Like I did no research, and I was like, oh, and then I thought it was gonna be a comedy, but in a different way. I didn't think it was gonna be because it was so bad. Like I thought it was gonna be a comedy because it is a comedy of like crazy hijinks happen.
You didn't think it would be like this. I'm sorry. I should have warned you that of its graphic nature.
No,
It's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should also mention that the drug dealer in this, I mean, he was the cleanest, most sophisticated looking drug dealer you've ever seen in your life. He's not in this rundown place. It looks really a well-run operation, man. You got a mastermind here.
I do want to also point out a game we've talked about before, LA Noire, had a DLC that's called Reefer Madness, in which you investigate Mexican pushers in a crooked factory that sell marijuana in soup cans.
How scandalous.
Ingenious.
So, but it's got a 39% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how you could really actually rate this movie because, I mean,
It should be rated as a satire.
I think you got rated in two ways. One, the original purpose, and then two, a so bad, so good.
well,
So bad it's good. It's elite.
yes, for his intention is an F because it's and not accurate.
It's one of the worst movies ever made.
This is
It's like Under the
propaganda.
Room.
Yeah.
It's not quite Room level, but you know we're getting.
Yeah, it was quite something.
You saying you didn't like it? Did this make you want to do weed, or would this make you never do it? Like it scares you off?
I'm just gonna let you know, as a person who said they have never done it, did not push me out of the way, but I'm gonna tell you its original purpose was it would have more made me want to do it than not. But that's the times. Those were different times, and it was made for a different audience.
I really wonder, like, how many people do you think actually saw this and like for its original purpose to fearmonger weed? I would bet it's really small.
Yeah, I don't think it was a big group. I'm kind of curious. Unfortunately, like now there's no way to like know a person who probably watched it like when it came out.
No.
Kind of get their point of view of it.
Of all the things that I asked someone that would live in that time, that would be pretty low on the list.
Yeah, they'll be like, "What?" Well, they're still in depression at this point, so
That's what I'm saying,
just
man.
came in 36.
Well, you know what would help with that depression? The weed might have helped.
But then you might go on a murderous rampage.
Yeah,
Well-
but so you ought to see what and do all these hit and runs, all of this.
I don't think we saw one person who did the reefer ever get hungry. I don't think we saw that.
That was
Nope.
that was one thing. I'm like, but again, because it's propaganda, you're not trying to show because people will be like, oh, that's not so bad.
I know, but I mean that's like the number one thing anybody knows. You think they would have put that in there just for some credibility? We saw the dad eat half his sandwich before his wife told him they were out of the reefers, and he had to go back to the drugstore there, and he was only eat anything, and he wasn't high. So 0 research was done.
So, gentlemen, I guess try and give it a rating based off a satirical comedy.
Yeah, so if we look at it through the satirical lens, I think it's. I
a
mean,
10 out of 10.
I don't know if I go that high. Like a 6.
It's like an 8.
No, Phil. A 10 to purpose, a 0. It's a 0 film.
Oh, it's intended purposes and negative. But yeah, I'll probably say it was a 7. It was entertaining.
It made me laugh.
Like, not for the way it wanted to be entertaining, but it was entertaining. So, if you ever want to check it out, the movie is only, like we said, it's only like about a little over an hour, so it's not even a hard watch. And again, you don't really have to pay attention heavily to kind of get what's going on. So, it's not like a Christopher Nolan. You have to be zoned in for like 2.5 hours. Pretty quick watch.
And it's on public domain. It's on Wikipedia for free, the whole thing.
Yep. So there you go. If you ever want to check it out. But we'll be back making more videos. My name's Legacy.
And I'm Max.
I'm Bobby.
All right. And may the discussions begin. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.